This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2015 BMW X5 50i. Up front is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm excited to be driving this here X5 for two main reasons. First of all, I've always really liked the X5. I think it's always been a solid vehicle whether it looks hideous or not. But the second reason is when I see twin turbo V8 on my schedule, I know it's going to be a good day. So let's get back to that 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. Well, it makes about 445 horsepower, 480 foot-pounds of torque, getting you 15 miles to the gallon, city 22 on the highway, which miles per gallon is not great, but the power is great. Once we're warmed up here on the test track, I will do a little acceleration test because I've driven this engine in a couple other vehicles. The BMW M550, mainly in the BMW 5 Series, this engine is also offered in the sedan. And I've always loved it. All right, warmed up here on the test track. Put it up into sport mode. I don't get paddle shifters or anything. I can plus minus on the shifter if I'd like, but I don't want to. Oh yeah, there it is. A little bit of an abridged acceleration test because of the snow and ice out here on the test track. But ooh, coming around the corner here, let's get another punch at it. Oh man, oh, it takes a second. There's a little bit of turbo lag, but once that lag is gone, you are gone. Oh, this is fun to drive. I mean, you just can't deny a twin turbo V8. I mean, there's never been a bad one. There's never been a bad one. Like I said, paired to it, 8-speed automatic transmission. It's shifting pretty well. I don't really notice it when it does shift. It's quiet and it does the job, which is all I can really ask for. Last but not least, this X5 does have the xDrive system, which means it is all-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We have quite a bit to go through in here. Well, in front of me, I have 4 pretty typical BMW gauges. On the far left is my fuel. Then I have my speedometer, tachometer on the right, and coolant temperature on the far right. Then I do have a little information screen down at the bottom, just giving me like outside temperature, distance till empty, my odometer, things of that nature. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options, and on the right, I have my mode, volume, scroll wheel, and phone options. The steering wheel is a little bit dated. I would say this is like late 2000s, early 2010s, and this is a 2015, so it's not super dated by those standards, but this was definitely towards the end of the steering wheel's life. And same with the gauges as well. They're a little bit dated at this point, but that's okay. I do have a heated steering wheel, which the button is on the side by the power telescoping options. And then to the left of me, I have my headlight switches, fog light switches, and on the door I have my lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. But interestingly enough, I do have a tailgate button that is right above the window switches that is the same shape and kind as the window switches. So you might accidentally open your tailgate a time or two. But before we get on with the rest of the video, I want to say thank you to the people who made this video possible. First up, cashforcars.com wants to buy your car. They will buy your car with a clean title, salvage title, running, non-running, whatever it may be. You can get your free quote by clicking the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com is the easiest way to sell your car. Within a couple of clicks, they'll come pick up your car in less than 24 hours. You don't even have to leave the couch, and it's absolutely awesome. Next up, we have con plates. The con plate is a suction cup mount for your license plate when you don't want to mount it to the front of your car. If you have to legally have a front license plate like you do here in Illinois, but you don't want to stick it on the front of your car, you think it's ugly, you want to take it off for car shows, whatever it may be, you can actually just put your license plate into the suction cup holder and put it in your front windshield when driving around to remain legal. You can get your con plate in the description description below, and every sale helps out the channel, so make sure your car looks good with con plates. Last but not least, I want to talk about the fixed OBD2 sensor. Now, this is a Bluetooth sensor that you plug into your OBD2 port on your car, and it gives you a ton of cool information like your check engine lights, how to fix your check engine lights, approximately how much it should cost, maintenance intervals like oil change, tire rotation, brake pads, when you should change that stuff out. This is absolutely fantastic for anyone into cars or anyone looking to get into mechanics. Fixed is offering my viewers a discount through that link, so go check it out, and again, help support the channel. But with all of that out of the way, let's get on with the review. Moving into the center, I do have a decent sized infotainment screen, and for 2015, I can't really ask too much more from it. However, this does have BMW's iDrive system. And what I've come to learn about iDrive is when I'm using it here in the reviews, I only drive the car for an hour or two, I really don't seem to mind iDrive. It works enough for my applications. But I've been working with a close friend who drives a car with iDrive every single day, and I've been riding with him a lot and driving that car, and it's not a good system. I really don't like the iDrive system for long-term use. Sometimes his phone has connectivity issues. It's not super smooth. It's not super intuitive. And overall, BMW is starting to move away from this system, which is great. However, the X5 does have iDrive, so I'm not a big fan. One thing I do like about the system, though, is that I can check the oil level in the engine just from this center screen. I have a bunch of different maintenance things, owner's manual, onboard info, fuel consumption, xDrive status, sport displays, which is interesting. I get sport displays, although this is a twin turbo V8, so I'm not mad at it. But these sport displays are the exact same as the ones found in the 2020 Toyota Supra. So that's pretty neat. Now we gotta have a quick talk about the backup camera, put it in reverse here. And I do have backup beepers on the front and rear of the vehicle, as well as the lines on the screen do adjust when you adjust the steering wheel, so you can take a look at your trajectory. I really like it. It is a pretty clear screen, and I have some options with it too. I can adjust the brightness and parking aid lines and obstacle markers, things like that off to the left. But I don't get a front view or side view or anything like that. However, it's a very clear, crisp rear view camera, and that's all I can ask for from it. Down below the center infotainment screen, I do have two climate control vents and my hazard switch, and then I have my climate controls themselves. Of course, dual zone, heated seats for the front. I do have automatic, defrosters, things like that. Nothing really too interesting, but I'm glad that I get physical buttons for the climate controls. Then I do have a CD player and my favorite buttons down below. One of my favorite features of the favorite buttons on BMWs is that they can also be programmed to navigational locations. Then we do have two cup holders on the center console. So big friggin' bottle test. And actually, it passes. The 2015 BMW X5 50i passes. There's nothing obstructing the top of the bottle, and it seats all the way down nice and snug into the cup holders. So I'm very happy to give it a solid pass. Below the cup holders, this is where things start to get a little hectic. To the left, I have my traction control off, sport and comfort mode. So there are three different drive modes for the X5. I have sport, comfort, and eco pro. Parking sensors on and off, and hill descent control. In the center, this is where I find my shifter. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this shifter. However, I've grown to just get used to it because I don't like the position of the unlock button. I think it's unnatural. I wish it was either like around the back of the shifter or at the very top, but it's sort of just this awkward point at the side. So in order to hit it with your thumb, you have to like cover up the whole shifter. It feels weird. At the bottom, I do have my power parking brake and auto holding brake, which is very nice. And then to the right, I have my selector dial for the infotainment screen. I love this. It has great tactile feedback. You can move it left, right, up, and down, as well as spin it. And each spin has a very satisfying click. Feels good in my hand. I know exactly what I'm doing without taking my eyes off the road. And that is a huge deal to me. That's what I look for when I look for infotainment screen controls. Then I have this random cubby hole, not sure what you're gonna put in there, and then a little clamshell opening center console. that has my USB and aux in inside of it. Now we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are nice and comfortable. They are leather, they are heated, they are power, and the driver's seat has 2 different memory positions. So really anything I can ask for from a vehicle like this vehicle has. Before we get onto the back seats, I just want to point out I have the steering wheel heater on and I am debating turning it off. It is so flippin' hot. Wow, okay. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the back seats. All right, so now we're in the back of the 2015 BMW X5 50i xDrive, and a couple things to note back here. First of all, the space is fantastic. My knees have a ton of room. My head has a bunch of room. Size back here is not an issue at all. I have 2 climate control vents, a little shelf, heated seat options, and a 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet. I do have speakers in the doors as well. I have the nice wood trim that carries on from the front, and I get to enjoy this nice skylight. It starts above the driver and ends right before my head. I do have a center console as well, little clamshell opening, cup holder, very tiny cup holders, but you get them nevertheless. But now we will take a look at the back, the trunk area, because I really think that this is the perfect size for an SUV because it doesn't have a 3rd row, but it's bigger. So it's that good middle ground of big enough so the rear passengers are very comfortable, but not where they have to squeeze a 3rd row in there. So I think this is perfect size, and we'll talk about that with the trunk. Clamshell opening tailgate, which is interesting. Pull this handle here, and then you actually get, sorry, the tag's in the way. You actually get a clamshell opening tailgate, which is very, very interesting, and not many vehicles do this anymore. Older Land Rovers did this, and that's really all that comes to mind right now. But a nice solid tailgate, and it's nice because you can keep this up and say if you don't want things rolling out or something like that, I guess you could do that. But it's not super high, so like probably won't keep an animal in, but you know, you could give it a shot. Other than that, I have a big privacy cover in the back, a outlet right here, which is great, some tie downs, nice little strap bag there, and a nice floor mat. We can lift this up down to the bottom, storage, and your tow hook, things like that. But other than that, tailgate button right here, and there you go. Now we gotta talk about the looks. This X5 is finished in black sapphire metallic, but you probably can't tell because it's winter here in the Midwest and it has crumbs all over it from the road. But I like the look of it, and I like the look of the X5 in total. The first generation X5 I thought was pretty hideous, but this I think actually looks really good, and I think it actually looks better than the more modern X5 here in 2021. I think it's proportioned well. I think the grills are a manageable size. And overall, it's a respectable, sleek, clean motor vehicle. And so let's talk about my final thoughts of this here BMW X5 50i xDrive. Well, it's good. I'm not blown away by anything besides the speed and acceleration. If you're gonna get an X5 and you care about acceleration, you care about driving, get the V8. But they also make a straight 6 version of this car, and that's just uninteresting to me. The V8 is the only thing that makes this thing actually worth buying and worth looking into. Because other than that, the gauges I've seen a million times. It's nothing really new there. The steering wheel, one of my 3 connections to the vehicle, is kind of dated. The seats are good, but they're not great. It looks pretty good, but again, it's not anything groundbreaking. I think my final consensus is that really this is a fantastic engine just bolted into another everyday car. Now, it's one heck of an engine. To me, this is kind of like getting Portillo's at a family event. Portillo's is great here in Chicago. Great hot dogs and roast beef. But then you look up and you realize you're at a family event, and that's arguably not the best. If I could sum it up, this is a great engine with a forgettable car. Speaking of the great engine, though, I mean, maybe one more time. Oh. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their BMW X5 50i. This is one of their used vehicles. They have hundreds of used cars on the lot, at all times. This just happens to be one of them. They also had an Audi Q7 I just got out of. So if Toyotas are not your thing, if BMWs are not your thing, if Audis are not your thing, if Fords are not your thing, still go check out Toyota of Naperville. They have hundreds of used cars on the lot at all times. They will help you get into the right vehicle no matter what it is. If you are searching for a new vehicle, then Toyota of Naperville should be your first pick. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.